Imagine stepping into a world where every inclination for a quick thrill is immediately indulged. The moment you feel bored, a new show streams right into your device. Any flicker of loneliness is met with a series of notifications, likes, or messages, each ping offering a transient jolt of gratification. In this landscape, there's no need to endure discomfort or uncertainty. Pleasure is on tap, available whenever you want it. Sounds like an idyllic scenario, doesn't it? But here's the subtle tension. At what cost do these endless indulgences come? And do they truly bring long-term fulfillment, or merely disguise an ever-expanding void? Welcome to a deep dive on the pursuit of pleasure, how it permeates our daily choices, shapes our ambitions, and sometimes silently ensnares us in illusions of happiness. Throughout this video, you will discover how you can recognize the pitfalls of pleasure-seeking, unearth the wisdom of both historical thinkers and modern psychologists, and ultimately transcend the superficial good feelings for a life of more profound meaning and enrichment. Have you noticed how frequently the allure of immediate enjoyment tugs at your attention? You may wake up to the shrill of an alarm, intending to begin your day with a workout or focused reading. But the softness of your bed begs for just 5 more minutes of comfort. Later, when stress creeps in at work or school, you might rummage for sugary snacks or social media as a quick balm for your agitation. In the evenings, you want to devote time to personal projects or deeper conversations, but the gravitational pull of a streaming service or mobile game proves too strong to resist. By bedtime, you may sense a flicker of guilt, recalling that you left your real priorities on the back burner. Over time, these small indulgences can knit themselves together into a pattern. Ask yourself, how many times have I brushed aside a meaningful task or neglected an important relationship because a more delightful distraction was readily available? Perhaps you intended to read a challenging book that enriches your mind, but found yourself scrolling through viral videos instead. Or maybe you felt the pang of dissatisfaction after a shopping spree, clothes or gadgets that brought only fleeting excitement. In each case, the quick fix temporarily soothes an itch, yet fails to address deeper desires for purpose, accomplishment, or connection. This is the central challenge. The relentless pursuit of pleasure may sideline the very elements that foster a sense of wholeness in your life. While enjoying small pleasures is not inherently harmful, the real question is whether these pleasures eventually hijack your ability to live in alignment with your deeper values, relationships, and goals. Let's ground this conversation in the insights of notable thinkers and psychologists who've explored why pleasure exerts such a profound pull and what lies beyond it. Sigmund Freud, a pioneering figure in modern psychology, posited the idea of the pleasure principle, our instinctive drive to seek immediate gratification and avoid pain. In Freud's view, from infancy onward, we gravitate toward experiences that elicit comfort, amusement, or positive sensation, and recoil from those that create discomfort or dissatisfaction. You can see this in the simple example of a baby crying until it receives milk or warmth. As adults, this principle still operates beneath our sophisticated layers of rationality. Think of a stressful project that looms over you. Your immediate primal reaction might be to flee that discomfort by watching a YouTube video or checking your phone. On a biological level, it makes sense to avert pain and welcome pleasure. But Freud also warned that if the pleasure principle goes unchecked by what he called the reality principle, we risk living impulsively, ignoring real responsibilities and the possibility for more durable forms of satisfaction. Moving forward in time, Csikszentmihalyi offered a different vantage point on how humans experience joy. He introduced the concept of flow, a state of deep engagement where you lose your sense of time because you're so immersed in a challenging but meaningful activity. Flow is not about momentary hits of pleasure. It's about a sustained sense of involvement and fulfillment. Whether painting a canvas, coding a complex program, or engaging in a difficult sport, flow provides a unique form of satisfaction that surpasses the fleeting high of aimless consumption. Reflect on your own life. Can you recall a time when you became so immersed in your work or a hobby that the hours melted away? Did you notice how different that felt compared to, say, mindlessly binging a TV series or scrolling social feeds for the same number of hours? Csikszentmihalyi's research implies that while short-term indulgences give immediate gratification, genuine contentment emerges from activities that challenge your skill level and let you grow in competence or creativity. Lastly, consider the perspective of Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, best known for his work, Man's Search for Meaning. Frankl proposed that fulfillment arises not from chasing happiness directly, but from aligning with a core purpose, something bigger than the self. In times of unthinkable suffering, Frankl observed that those who found a reason to endure could preserve hope and dignity. In everyday life, his insight warns us against the empty chase for happiness as a standalone goal. True contentment, he believed, is a byproduct of having meaningful aims, whether that's contributing to others, expressing creativity, or living in accordance with ethical beliefs. While none of these thinkers condemned pleasure outright, each highlighted how unbridled indulgence can distract us from deeper significance. Freud's Pleasure Principle, Csikszentmihalyi's Flow, and Frankl's meaning-driven life form a tapestry of wisdom that reveals the shallowness of constantly opting for the easiest gratification. Beyond our personal inclinations, modern culture and technological systems often exploit this inherent draw toward pleasure. For instance, the attention economy, social media platforms, streaming services, and mobile apps are engineered to keep you hooked. Every like, push notification, or autoplay feature designed to deliver repeated bursts of dopamine. According to a study in the Journal of Affective Disorders, 2020, higher amounts of daily screen time correlated with increased rates of anxiety and depression. The research underscores how the frictionless availability of gratification can ironically heighten emotional distress over the long term. Consumer culture. Advertisements bombard you with the promise that your life will be happier with one more product, a new phone, a trendy outfit, or the latest must-have gadget. While buying something new can momentarily boost your mood, the hedonic treadmill concept shows that you quickly adapt to your new acquisition. Soon enough, you're scanning for the next purchase to relight that spark. As philosopher Erich Fromm once argued, a society fixated on having rather than being fosters superficial contentment, overshadowing more profound forms of human development. Cultural norms, parties, weekend getaways, and constant talk of treating yourself can normalize pleasure-seeking. Of course, there's nothing inherently wrong with celebrations or self-care. The challenge arises when the cultural narrative pushes you to believe that maximizing pleasure is the ultimate goal, neglecting the virtues of patience, perseverance, or service to others. Ask yourself, how often do my phone's alerts, online ads, or social circles nudge me to pick the easiest, most enjoyable option, regardless of my long-term ambitions? Recognizing these forces is crucial because it reveals that your pursuit of pleasure is not merely a personal quirk, it's also a byproduct of intricate societal mechanisms profitably keeping you in a cycle of instant rewards. Picture your impulses as a siren song calling from a distant shore, enchanting, seductive, but potentially leading you astray if you steer your ship toward them without caution. The pursuit of pleasure can be a captivating force, yet if you sail too close without a guiding compass, you risk crashing into the rocks of superficial living, never discovering the deeper waters of your own capabilities. Alternatively, you might envision modern technology, consumer products, and easy comforts as an enchanted labyrinth. Every turn offers a new delight, a fresh gadget, a sale, a dopamine hit from social media. but each dead end underscores the cyclical nature of these indulgences. You wander, enthralled by glimmers of excitement, yet find yourself stuck in endless corridors of trivial pursuits, unsure how to exit, or if an exit even exists. These metaphorical images, the siren's song, the enchanted labyrinth, illustrate that pleasure can be both wonderful and dangerous. Wonderful in measured doses, dangerous when it supplants meaningful growth. Like a labyrinth's illusions, short-term thrills can keep you wandering aimlessly, unless you're vigilant about charting a path that aligns with your deeper aspirations. Now let's go deeper. It's clear that unbridled pleasure-seeking can derail your potential. But let's refine our understanding by exploring why the pull of pleasure can feel so strong and how it erodes other dimensions of life. As soon as a pleasurable experience becomes familiar, a new phone, the next streaming show, its impact diminishes. You crave something else to recapture the initial excitement. This is the hedonic treadmill, urging you to run faster, yet remain in the same spot of dissatisfaction. Pursuing pleasure isn't always about seeking positive stimuli. It can also be about escaping negative feelings, stress, boredom, anxiety, or loneliness. The moment an uncomfortable emotion arises, you might reach for your phone, a sweet snack, or binge-watch an entire season. This soothes you temporarily, but the underlying issue remains unaddressed, often growing more entrenched. When your mind is habituated to constant micro-rewards through notifications, quick entertainment, or online shopping, it becomes more challenging to concentrate on demanding tasks. You grow accustomed to immediate feedback, and anything requiring patience or sustained effort can feel unbearable. This costs you the deeper satisfaction and competence that arise from immersing yourself in purposeful work. Csikszentmihalyi's Flow. Pleasure-based interactions, parties, casual flings, or surface-level social media engagements can feel thrilling. But as time goes on, you might realize you haven't truly nurtured intimate or supportive relationships. Authentic friendship and love often demand vulnerability, conflict resolution, shared hardships, or mutual sacrifice. Things that don't feel pleasurable in the moment, but yield a stronger, more meaningful bond over time. Here's the hidden cost. Little by little, your life might become an unending hunt for the next fleeting high, distracting you from tasks, projects, or relationships that actually bring lasting joy and growth. The cost is not just missed opportunities, but also a sense of stagnation, living more like a reactive consumer of momentary delights than a deliberate architect of a meaningful existence. Spot the trigger. Ask yourself, when was the last time I felt a pull to indulge simply because something else seemed difficult or dull? Maybe it's the reflexive habit of checking social media during a challenging assignment. Notice these patterns throughout your day. Examine your emotions. The next time you reach for a quick mood boost, pause. Am I hungry, stressed, or lonely? Is there an underlying problem I'm avoiding? This simple step of naming the emotion can illuminate your motivations and help you handle them more directly. Consider the long game. If I continue making small choices based solely on what feels good right now, what does my life look like in a year? 5 years? Reflect on how even slight overindulgences might accumulate into a destiny far from what you truly desire. Set specific time blocks for entertainment or social media. For instance, allow yourself a 30-minute session in the evening, but disable notifications during deep work or family time. Consider removing apps from your phone that you find particularly addictive. Access them via a desktop if needed, adding a layer of friction that prevents habitual usage. When facing a daunting project, commit to just 5 or 10 minutes of focused work, after which you can decide whether to continue or take a short break. Often, beginning is the hardest part, and once you start, you'll gain momentum that supersedes the lure of an instant reward. Alternatively, try the drawn-out discomfort approach. If you crave a quick hit of pleasure, Let yourself sit with the discomfort or restlessness for 2 minutes, identifying its nature. You might find the urge weakens or transforms, empowering you to act more intentionally. By systematically observing triggers, naming emotions, and instituting these boundaries or micro-commitments, you can gradually reduce the automatic pull of fleeting enjoyment and open space for deeper engagement. Could it be that your longing for pleasure is, at its core, a search for something more profound? Belonging, fulfillment, a sense of aliveness? If so, then pure hedonism might only satisfy the surface level of that yearning, leaving your deeper self still craving. Recall Viktor Frankl's perspective. One does not become truly fulfilled by aiming for pleasure or happiness. Instead, those qualities often surface naturally when you do something purposeful. The question is, how can you anchor your pursuits in meaning rather than mere gratification? Maybe it's devoting time to a cause you believe in, investing energy in supportive relationships, or cultivating your creative gifts. These endeavors might feel more challenging and less comfortable initially, but they impart a lasting richness that momentary indulgences cannot rival. Aligning with a bigger why also arms you with the resolve to withstand discomfort. Friedrich Nietzsche famously said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." When you have a compelling reason, whether it's shaping a better future for your family, pursuing excellence in your craft, or helping your community, temporary discomfort or delayed pleasure becomes manageable, even meaningful. You realize that saying no to passing whims is a small price for the grander rewards of personal evolution and contribution. What does this all mean for you right now? You may feel the tug of instant pleasure daily, an almost gravitational force drawing you toward the easiest, most soothing option. But embedded in that pull is an opportunity to make choices that reflect what you genuinely cherish. You do not need to banish all delight from your life. Instead, commit to harnessing pleasure as a supportive companion, rather than allowing it to commandeer your destiny. Where are you susceptible to small but consistent indulgences, in media, food, shopping, or other pleasurable escapes, that overshadow your deeper goals? What single step can you take today to pivot from a reflex of comfort toward a conscious pursuit of growth? It could be as simple as disabling notifications for a specific window of time and dedicating that space to journaling or learning a new skill. Ending the night one episode earlier on Netflix and using those extra 30 minutes to reflect or plan your next day's priorities. Substituting a minor indulgence, like an impulsive online purchase, for saving that money towards something that genuinely matters to you. Remember, each act of restraint or redirection is not about punishing yourself. It's about choosing the path that aligns with your values and fosters richer satisfaction over time. Ignoring these reflections can lead to a life of superficial highs and quiet regret. You might accumulate regrets about unfulfilled ambitions or unrealized abilities. Relationships could remain on the surface, never plumbing the depths of mutual understanding and growth. Meanwhile, the void for which you sought quick relief might persist, even deepen. Yet, acknowledging the allure of pleasure and integrating it more wisely can lead to a truly liberated existence. You'll find yourself more present in the moment, able to savor pleasures deliberately, and also able to set them aside for the sake of more significant achievements. Over time, you'll notice a blossoming sense of mastery, self-respect, and the kind of joy that comes from meaningful pursuits. Real change does not unfold overnight. You might slip back into old patterns. That's natural. But every time you choose the more purposeful path over the mindless indulgence, you rewrite a bit of your own narrative. You prove to yourself that the future isn't dictated by fleeting impulses. It's shaped by the disciplined heart, the mindful mind, and the courageous will. So, what will you do next? If this explanation has illuminated the hidden costs of constant gratification, let it also ignite your resolve to take a stand for your deeper aspirations. Start small. First, please subscribe if you felt this was enlightening and would like future videos. Then pick one habit to reevaluate, one moment of your day to protect from trivial disruptions, or dive deeper by exploring your life's why, clarifying how you want to invest your limited days on this planet. When you do so, you invite a new chapter, one where you're no longer lost in the labyrinth of immediate pleasure, but instead walking a path of intentional purpose, discovering the heights of your potential, forging stronger relationships, and cultivating an inner peace that fleeting highs could never bestow.